How's that for a start? Glass lip gloss container falling over. Awesome, right? Hello. Happy Tuesday. I almost said Thursday. Thursday was what almost just came out of my mouth. It is not. I feel like I've gone through an entire week already, apparently. My gosh. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? As per usual, I'm still waiting on YouTube to update. Oh, that's how delayed it is. I saw Sarah's message pop up, and then when I looked down, I just saw it pop up on the feed. That's very helpful information. Okay. And I turned down my volume, but apparently it didn't listen. Cool. Awesome. We're ready to go now, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. It is March. It is March, y'all. Can you even believe that? So, my husband and I were briefly chatting about, our return to Minnesota, because that has to happen. And we're thinking we're going to do it at the end of the month, because apparently that's when spring break is. Spring break. And so a lot of his team members might be off, whatever. We're going to find a time that he can take off so we can actually pack ourselves up and get back north, right? We will have successfully spent the entirety of the calendar winter season not in Minnesota. And I'm not mad about it. I'm like, hey, knowing our luck, it's going to be a super quick blast of blizzard the second we get home. But that's life in Minnesota. Yes, we will come and spend, I think we're going to plan to come through and spend a day and then go, but I don't actually know what the schedule is going to look like. I have no idea, because we got to make sure that he is up and running by the Monday after we get back. He has to be ready for work that Monday. So we're going to figure all that out. It's going to be crazy. We're bringing back a lot of stuff that didn't come down with us. We're bringing back more than we came with. But it's good. And in the meantime, I get to spend March here. And I just filmed my goals video and all that jazz. And I'm kind of elaborating on the goal, the theme of the month, which is not push hard and work like crazy, but it is the opposite. And it is just, this month's theme is literally just chill, relax, rest, recover, because you hit the ground running in April. So that's what's happening. Let's see which of my friends decided to come tonight. Marie is here, and Rosie, and Lissa, and Christina, and Iris, and Sarah. Yay! Hey, it was over 40 today, sunny but windy. I've been keeping my eye on the weather, and I think within the next week, and Kim, hey Kim, it's supposed to hit 50. And I was like, excellent. So any snow or most of the snow, it takes more than one above freezing day. But by the time we get back, the snow might be gone, unless of course we get another blizzard, which is very likely. Last year, 2020, it snowed. It blizzarded on Easter Sunday. We weren't allowed to go to church because of quarantine. And so we were, making the best of it. And it blizzarded. And I was like, which Jesus holiday are we celebrating? Easter or Christmas? I can't really tell. Don't know. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that. Pumped about that. If, my friends, you have any highs and lows that you would particularly like to share with me today, feel free to do so. I have updates for anybody that may or may not want a little bit more information on the hormone mending journey and the resources that I have uncovered just in the last couple days. I'm real excited. So if you want the updates, I can tell you. I actually have them linked down below. And that's it. What are my highs for this week? Really exciting resources that I've been diving into. I got my videos filmed, and yeah, that's it. I don't have any lows. Well, that's not true. I do have a low, and it's more of just a frustration than a low, but it has to do with the hormonal journey, which I can get into in a little bit. So there's that. What have you all got for me this evening? Any highs you want to share? Any lows you want to share? What else do I have that is interesting? I don't have anything interesting to share with you. So in the meantime, I want to talk about, I'm in my third week. Third week. Man, that went by really fast. Third week of Muscle Burns Fat, which is the Beachbody program that I am trying right now. And it is only a 3-week program. by the end of this week, I will be done with that program. And I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm doing next. Because, and it all ties back to this stuff. So while I'm waiting on y'all, I will just tell you about this stuff. So y'all know by now that I'm working on mending the presumed self-diagnosed hormone issues. I believe I have estrogen dominance, based on the symptoms that all the research I've done, the symptoms of estrogen dominance versus the symptoms that I'm having, all line up pretty solidly. So that's what I'm going off of. Nothing crazy, but enough to be wildly inconvenient for my body. So I've been doing the deep dive into research, and we have a low. What? We have a low. Had a health issue on Thursday that I finally got resolved yesterday. Yay! Hi, I was able to get back to walking today. Surprising how much I missed the walk when I wasn't doing it that long. That is great, Marie. That's great. Look at you. You are walking. You are doing face masks. You are embracing all of those aspects of self-care. And I really, really love seeing that. That is awesome. Good for you. And that's like basically my theme of the month is, I keep saying it's rest, but it's not laziness. It is intentional rest and restoration, and just slowing things down. And within that, I am doing all of this extra research and hopefully maybe implementing some of these things that I'm finding out as soon as possible. Fingers crossed, and hopefully being able to see some positive changes, which would be really, really good news. And thus, not an unproductive, restful month, but genuinely a month that sets me up for energy and success and flow, as the woman who authored these books is. Woman who authored these books, who talks like this. One of the things I've been doing, y'all, is I've only had 1 cup of coffee today. I gotta tell you about the caffeine. Oh my word. Lissa, highs. I've been killing it when it comes to physical progress, starting to see some changes in my body, seeing muscles, and I feel stronger, and work is going pretty well. Those are all amazing things. Ashley, hi. Good to see you. Queen of the Dip Powders just entered the room. Oh my goodness. Her Instagram feed is making me so nail jealous. It's not even funny. And Lindsay, hi. Good to see you too. And so, anyway, I went on Kelly LeVeque's podcast, and if you follow me on Instagram and have been listening to my stories, you've heard this whole plight already. I went on Kelly LeVeque's podcast because I know her thing. She's the Fab Four, right? Body Love, Fab Four smoothies, all that jazz. And I know it is. I have a beef with my nails. I just redid my nails and I'm obsessed with them. Chandelier and Purple Rain from Revel. But I have a big problem with my pointer fingers always lift. Like I could pop this off right away, like right now. And I'm annoyed because I can't figure out how to get it to not lift. I always get, especially my pointer finger on my right hand, always lifts. And I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. And luckily, I think I can stick it back on with some base, just like paint a layer of base and put it back on. But it's so frustrating because this manicure is only a couple of days old and I already have lifting on my one finger. Anyway, it's only frustrating because I love this manicure and I want it to last as long as humanly possible. My low is that things are really bad with the family right now. Nothing new, but I'm struggling. I think that low is related to my highs because of how bad things are right now. So you think your family issues are being exacerbated by the fact that you are doing well on your physical journey and they're having problems with it. Is that what I'm reading? Hi, I'm tracking since the 17th. Good for you. Excellent, Sarah. In 2 weeks, I'll be able to try and schedule my COVID vaccine. Not sure when I'll get the appointment, but eligibility is step one and I'm almost there. That is amazing. And I am so jealous. Try running a toothpick around your cuticles before you activate it to keep it from adhering to your cuticle. But you mean like at the bottom maybe? Because it's not adhered to the cuticle at all. Like it is perfectly flush to the nail, and it would be beautiful except for the fact it's lifting. But like there's not a drip on my cuticle. There is with the chandelier, but not with this one. And I was actually very impressed with how well I did this manicure, and it still lifts. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I was looking into Kelly LeVeque's podcast because I knew that she focused on blood sugar balance and how that helps the body function better and balances your insulin, which is a hormone and works with all the other stuff, right? Let me troubleshoot for you. Excellent. Thank you. So within her podcast, within Kelly LeVeque's podcast, the Be Well by Kelly podcast, I discovered, oh gosh, what's her name? Alyssa Vitti. And I listened to an interview with her and was like, all right, I got to get this woman's book. Turns out that both of her books were on Scribed, which is the Netflix for books that I subscribe to. And so I opened up the book called Woman Code, which I have linked down below, and devoured all of the information that was in that book. And basically, the long of the short of it is you can fix your hormones with your diet and how you choose to live your life, right? And there's nothing like crazy extreme that she's toting either. She got into at the beginning of like the cleanliness of your products, but she didn't like take the deep dive into all of this is bad and you should never let this touch your skin. She didn't go like the all non-clean things are inherently evil. She didn't go that way. But the stuff that I heard, was reading, I was like, this makes so much sense. She talks about, and she is the one who coined cycle syncing, right? And that's where you can basically sync up your life to the different phases of your cycle. And when you do, she calls it, you get into the flow. And it all sounds really hippy dippy, right? And I still kind of like, is that really a thing that I can pull off? I hear a lot of women do it, but so I finished the first book and I was like, okay, I'm on board. Let me read the second one. And the second one is all about the how-to. It's about the protocol. And you get the protocol in the first book too, but this is literally what foods, what workout routines. This was the mind-boggling part. I skipped ahead. I read the intro, and then the first real in-depth chapters were about dieting and exercising, and how basically if you are eating to keep your hormones in sync, you really don't need to diet, which is something I'm willing to try at this point because y'all know how hard I'm working and how I don't have very much to show for it. Which is the frustrating part. And the thing with excess estrogen is you can't lose weight and you gain weight. And so I was like, freaking estrogen, right? Then I read a chapter about working out. Y'all, she gets real in depth about the intensity and types of workouts that you should be doing based on where you are in your cycles. And especially for people who are estrogen sensitive, if you do something to stress out your adrenal glands when you don't have the energy to back it up, instead of triggering a fat burn response, you trigger a fat creation and fat storage response instead. Hi Javier, I didn't know you hopped on. Which was mind-boggling to me. And so basically, and I'm paraphrasing epically here, but I just thought that all of this was so fascinating. But she gives you, based on the 4 phases of your cycle: follicular phase, ovulatory phase, luteal phase, and menstrual phase, right? Look at me. I learned all 4 phases of the cycle. I've at least got something down. What types of foods you should be eating, because different types of foods, it's an all natural, whole foods, vegetables, grains, things like that, fruit, what meats to eat when, and everything. So this obviously it's a no sugar deal, or low sugar anyway. And which I'm like, I don't know, because of course your girl likes her sugar and her desserts and everything, right? Right. Hold on. So you have different foods that you should eat based on their macronutrient makeup and where you are in your cycle. For example, there are foods that actually help wipe estrogen from the body that you're supposed to eat at a point where you might have excess estrogen. Or there's phytoestrogens that you can eat when you are at an estrogen low to help you get some of your estrogen back. And based on where you are in your cycle determines which of these foods you are supposed to be eating. Fascinating, right? And then there's all sorts of, obviously, I know he does. I know he does. Bless him for showing up and sometimes sticking around. If he ever asked a question or wanted to say something, I'd answer, but he just kind of like coasts in, says hi, and then coasts out. Poor Javier. I know. Poor John would always show up when there was girl talk too. Remember that? I haven't seen him in a while, but he would always show up when there's girl talk. But this is this is where I'm at right now. It's figuring out all of this hormonal stuff, right? So I just read like the stuff on the foods and whatnot today. Again, she mentioned it in the first book. I literally screenshotted all the information in the second book. And then I screenshotted the information on the working out too, and how like in your beginning, the links are in the description box. Woman Code and In the Flow. And I actually, as I was downstairs getting ready, I was like, oh, I have to text Lindsay and tell her about these books. And then I was like, she's going to show up at the live stream. I'll tell her then. I was thinking of you specifically. You need to get your hands on at least Woman Code and see how you feel about it, because I'm interested. So there were times when John will only show up to the girls' talk. I know. Poor John. Poor John. But so all of these things are very interesting to me. The idea of the food, I can get behind. And I looked at the list and I was like, if you think of every phase as a week in time, that's obviously not perfect. But in terms of meal planning, if you think of it as a week in time, it's not even that scary. Because it's literally like, there's your grocery list for your week and your husband can deal with it, or you pick up a couple extra things for him. But like during your luteal phase, you're supposed to eat things like salmon for the fatty omega-3s. And during your menstrual phase, that's when you're supposed to eat warmer foods because your body's actually at its coldest. And so things like stews and chilies and beef and whatever. So I can literally look at this and all the vegetables and all the fruits and be like, this is my shopping list for the week. And I have to make, like, 1 week is chicken at the beginning of your cycle that talks about chicken and lean proteins and things like that. Lamb was one of the options, but there was also some fish options that week. Like, real interesting stuff that I haven't even begun. Like, I'm going to try. I'm going to mess around with some of this stuff and see if I notice a difference. But a couple of things that I've already implemented seem to make a bit of a difference. So the food stuff, I'm excited. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge because your girl likes dessert, but she also says, take it slow. Maybe start with just rotating out your vegetables or something like that. So I'm going to take it slow. But like this month is going to be me experimenting with stuff like this, because why not? Or at least trying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wholeheartedly experiment with it until I'm back home, but I'm gonna try, because we eat beef and like sometimes we order out fish and whatever. And then the workout stuff, though, y'all. The workout stuff is basically saying that we, women, can't necessarily pull off like a Beachbody program and do the same gung-ho stuff every week, because sometimes it will trigger us in the wrong way. And it talks about how it's like you can kill it and burn fat and burn calories and lose weight the first 2 weeks of your period, of your cycle. And the second 2 weeks is when you struggle and so it comes back and you don't know what happened. And I'm like, hello to what exactly happened to me last month. But if you recall, this information in terms of the first 2 weeks and the second 2 weeks of the cycle, I first heard from James Smith, the guy who wrote the Not a Diet book that I really like, the Australian guy, and who did that TED Talk that was really, really fascinating. So I was like, this was not new information. Okay, this is the second place that I have heard this information about working out and the different times in your cycle. And I just thought, of course, like, go lighter on weights 1 week and lift 4. I'm going to try, Kim. Yes. So that's my plan. And this is why I'm sitting here and my mind is spinning, because there are so many things going through my mind. I'm like, I'm in the middle of this cut, which is going. It's not going well, but it's going. I've been eating on track. I still have 250 calories left today, and I'm pretty sure I'm done eating, which is awesome. And so my goal is to stick to the calories, but it's going to kind of be like I've been kind of going back and forth with like even the past couple of days, I've been like, I want to eat this for breakfast. Let me make it, and I'll make a reasonable sized portion and I'll plug it in. And then I'm like, I think that this sounds good for, like, everything's just been flowing kind of naturally in terms of the quantities and what I've been eating and landing within my calorie target. Yesterday, I had enough calories left after eating gorgonzola and gnocchi. I had enough calories left for an entire brookie that my father-in-law brought home. He brought home brookies from the grocery store bakery. And I looked at the nutrition information. A whole one was 330 calories. And I was like, lo and behold, I can afford that. What? Interesting. So the answer is yes. I'm going to try and do my best to plan within my calorie deficit the foods that match up with where I'm at in my cycle, right? The gym stuff is where I'm completely perplexed, because I was starting to think, like, you can basically, the way she explains it, you can basically do the heavy stuff like HIIT and cardio and whatever, like the first 2 weeks of the cycle. You can do, she only recommends strength training for the 3rd week, like the beginning of your luteal phase. And I was like, if I've got the energy for cardio, I've got the energy to lift weight and build lean muscle. So for like 3 of the 4 weeks, strength training is reasonable. But for the week of like your PMS, which the whole goal of this is to eliminate PMS, but the end of your luteal phase and your menstrual phase, if you want to get technical about it, should not be heavy duty anything. Stretch, yoga, recovery, leisurely 30-minute walk, resting. She even said, she goes, if you want to declare napping to be your workout during your menstrual phase, go for it, because that's better. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, do I do like a DIY Brianna's plan? And like, I printed out a bunch of Lift 4 hybrid calendars, and some of them are very intense, very intense. But like, if I wanted to get back on a Lift 4 wagon, do I do like 3 weeks of Lift 4? Hey, Susan, good to see you. 3 weeks of Lift 4 and then a week of whatever the heck I want, and then pick up where I left off. So it'd be like week 1, week 2, week 3, break. And then after my period, week 4, week 5, week 6, break. Like, is that the approach? So like, my mind is spinning with all of this information, right? Because it's completely counterintuitive to how we structure our lives, because we're so used to structuring them on a 24-hour period, which coincidentally, not to sound sexist or anything, but coincidentally, it is the structure of the male hormonal cycle every 24 hours. And we all function on a 24-hour cycle, whereas we should be functioning on a 28-day cycle. So interesting. It's all in these books. It's so interesting. One of the things that I read in Women Code that I've already started implementing, and I can't tell you if it's the reason for what I've been experiencing the last couple days, but she said she is not really pro caffeine, but she understands that sometimes we just need our morning cup of coffee, but she's adamantly opposed to caffeine before eating food. Big no-no. Because caffeine spikes a bunch of different hormones in your body that can jack things up the rest of the day. And the more you jack up, the harder it is to become back in the flow. So there's 2 things I changed. In the first book, she also talks about her meal timing, because the first step to fixing your hormones is to manage your blood sugar, which ties back into Kelly LeVeque and body love. So you see, all of these people that I've been trying to follow lately, in a way, have this one cohesive view on nutrition and food for health, which I think is great. So blood sugar balance. She also gives you like a meal timing. So after you eat breakfast, you should eat breakfast no longer than 90 minutes after you wake up. You should eat lunch no more than 3.5 hours after that. You should have a snack, and like it's all laid out in the book. And so I only changed 2 things. I started waiting on my cup of coffee and having my cup of coffee with breakfast. And I've been trying to be attuned to the meal timings where she goes breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, right? Y'all, eating has been so easy the last couple of days. So easy. Like the first day that I did this, I literally looked at my tracker at the end of the day to like figure out my roundup, whatever. And I was like, I didn't eat a single snack. I literally only ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I was totally satisfied. totally satisfied. And then I had a dessert. And so I'm like, my only snack was my dessert. That was it. And then today I planned my snack. For breakfast, I had the breakfast I was been having all week, which is a Fairlife Nutrition shake and a Sandwich Brothers sandwich thin with my cup of coffee. Lunch, I actually had my dinner from last night, my leftovers, because another thing she recommends is having your heaviest meal at lunch. So today I decided to do that. So I had my leftovers for lunch. For a snack, I had tuna salad with Primal Kitchen mayo, tuna, and a high fiber mini tortilla. Are you still fasting if you eat 90 minutes after you wake up? I'm not intentionally trying to do intermittent fasting right now. No. And then so I had that snack, and then for dinner I actually had breakfast, and I had an egg white fold over with a high fiber tortilla with some avocado and salsa on it. So good. And I'm so satisfied. Is the thing that I changed that's making the biggest impact the fact that I'm drinking coffee with my breakfast? Because I haven't been actually hungry in days. Like, I felt hungry, and I was like, as I was reading today, I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm hungry. I don't know why. And I looked, and it was 6:15. And I was like, no wonder I'm hungry. It's time for dinner. I was like, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. So let me answer the questions that are coming up. It would be cool if there were workout programs designed for when you're supposed to start the program on day one of your cycle. That would be really cool. I'm dabbling in Beachbody workouts, no rules, and don't need to complete a challenge in the time they prescribe. Just doing what feels good. That is a great way to do it. No one can talk to me until I'm caffeinated. I know. So I'm trying to mess around with, like, I think if I have one good cup of coffee a day, because the idea of giving up that ritual and that taste makes me sad. I really enjoy my morning cup of coffee, but I have been successfully not having caffeine the rest of the day. I'm tired. Like, even right now, as I was going upstairs to come and do this, I'm like, I'm tired, but it's okay to be tired. It's 8:30 p.m. Like, and then if I'm tired, by the time I'm supposed to go to bed, I sleep better, and it's a cycle. Imagine that. Well, I don't do any of that. I have my coffee around 6. Breakfast is closer to 9. Well, and that's what I would do before. I would wake up and immediately have my coffee, and then I would wait until 9:30, 10:30 to have breakfast whenever I was hungry or post-workout. And everything about this book says otherwise, because you got to keep your blood sugar balanced, and you don't want to give your body a reason to spike things like cortisol and your stress hormones and all that. And I was like, this is just so interesting. It's all so interesting to me. I only drink 1 cup of caffeinated coffee, but it's a very important cup of coffee. Nobody talks to me before that and lives to tell about it, right? Yes. I've been eating 1,600 calories and I'm starving and feel very low energy. Don't know what's going on. What are you eating? I guess is the first thing. And then the second thing is, of course, where are you in your cycle? Because of all the stuff I'm learning, there's a lot that could play into that as well. The comment on IF has me wondering about people that say women shouldn't do 16-hour fast because of hormonal things. And actually, in what I'm reading now in the Flow, she talks about intermittent fasting and how the studies on women in intermittent fasting have mostly been on postmenopausal women and not on women with active menstrual cycles. And the results for women with active menstrual cycles have not been positive. It's been on men and postmenopausal women. Interesting, right? I get so confused with fasting because I always used to eat breakfast right when I got up. Then I started fasting, and it honestly seems to make it a lot harder for me to fit in 3 healthy meals a day. Yeah. So you don't, first of all, healthy meals is good. The healthy meals is good. When I was doing intermittent fasting seriously, I usually only had 2 meals and a snack is what it was. None of these studies for a lot of the diets include women who have their cycles. You are absolutely right. And that is what she says. Most of the studies, and in fitness too, what is best for muscle growth and all of that is done on postmenopausal women and men. No one takes our hormones into consideration. And this is this mind-boggling thing because all of us are sitting here struggling with different issues and the solution is right in front of our faces and we're just ignoring it because society told us to ignore it. You know, our periods have always been an excuse, right? this horrible thing that happens to us. And basically her whole philosophy is, it's not a horrible thing that happens to us. It's a great thing as long as we know how to work with it and not against it. And that's the whole premise of this entire thing that I'm studying. So all of that to say, I'm real jazzed about this. Here's the kicker. Your girl wants to implement this protocol like yesterday, right? I'm like, all right, sign me up, whatever. Your girl's body had a different plan. And I even wrote down dates because we're going to get TMI for a minute because that's okay. But now I'm just confused. And I complained about this on Instagram the other day. My last period was 2 days long. It was the 6th and the 7th. It caused my 1.6 gain that I've been hanging on to and very slowly getting rid of over the last couple of weeks, right? My next period was supposed to start the 7th, like the end of this week. PMS should be happening right now. Maybe it is. I don't know. On the 24th, I started spotting. Spotted the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, and had something in the morning that looked like a light period on the 28th, just in the morning. I don't know what phase I'm in. I have no idea. Was that a fluke? Or was that a period that came literally 8 days early? More than 8 days early. Maybe my next period's supposed to, I don't remember. I literally looked at my tracker and I was like, I shouldn't be seeing anything for at least 8 or 9 more days. I'm usually a couple days late according to the tracker. What? So now I don't know what phase I'm in. I literally am like, do I twiddle my thumbs and see if my monthly friend shows up when it's actually supposed to? And if it doesn't, do I presume that what just happened was my last cycle? So I have to go back and call that day 1 and go and reverse engineer from there? I don't know. I do think it's the supplements. I really do. I was like, is this my body getting rid of all the stuff and going, what are you doing? And trying to get back to some sense of normalcy? You know? I'm wondering if that's what triggered it anyway. Because what's interesting, and I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but supposedly my husband can smell on me when my period is due. He can smell it like some hormone in my breath or something. He can tell when it's coming, which I've never heard of before, but he can consistently predict when I'm going to get my period. Like he'll ask me, he goes, is your period due soon? I stopped taking the magnesium because it made me feel like garbage. Interesting. When did you take it? I take the magnesium at night because it's also supposed to help you sleep. That's when I took magnesium before, and that hasn't made an impact. However, your girl's been getting like some hot flashes. Like I have been running hot, which if you know me, I don't do. I run cold. I have been running like clammy hot. The zinc, y'all. The zinc causes you to spike in temperature. I did not know that. It's very bizarre. It is very bizarre for me to be like, I am hot. Like literally taking off my sweatpants and trying to sleep in shorts because I'm hot. I always sleep in pants. And I'm like, am I dying? What is happening? And then I was Googling some things and something popped up that was like zinc supplement side effects. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So all this stuff, these supplements I'm trying to take to help me, zinc is making me too hot. These might have caused me to do the spotting. I don't know. But your girl's confused. I don't know where I'm at, so I don't know how to implement my new protocols because I don't know where I'm at in my cycle. But we're playing the long game. We're playing the long game, right? Y'all. This is a lot of information, I know, and I'm spewing a lot of stuff at you, but this is literally within the last week, the thing that I have found the most valuable and most exciting is the information I have found in these books. I'm just like, this is mind-boggling. And even if you are postmenopausal, the information still works for you a little bit too. Like she said that in the book. She goes, if you are done getting your periods, that's okay. Like you can still implement this protocol and reap the benefit from it. It's just so fascinating. Let's see. Let's see. Speaking my language, Marine 1 cup for me too, and I don't even think about talking to me before my first sip. Nobody researches 11 to 45 and 50 girl women's because it's too hard because of hormones. It's true. I'm just not sure how I do that. I'm not hungry at 6 a.m. I'm not either. So I've been putting up my cup of coffee. That's what I've been doing. I wake up, and she also wants you to drink water first thing in the morning because she wants you to go number 2. And if your digestive system is functioning healthfully, you will go number 2 within about 20 minutes of waking after you drink 8 ounces of water. And I, no joke, have started looking at number 2 in a different way as well, because she talks about it as a process of elimination from the body. That's one of the ways you get rid of all of your extra hormones. All of your extra hormones, you know? I know. I've taken magnesium before, so I'm not worried about magnesium. I'm like literally on record. I have at the doctor's office that I'm on magnesium, so I'm not worried about that at all. The zinc, they were 50 milligram tablets, and I was like, that's really, really high. So I actually cut them in half. And I might start taking one like every other day because I haven't been nearly as hot today because I skipped today. So like the heat is a direct response from the zinc. It's not like a harmful thing, but it's just something to be aware of. It's definitely like, be warned. If you start to take zinc for immunity or whatever, because it's in a lot of cold supplements and stuff too. If you get hot, take a look at what you took because you might have had zinc in it. But you don't want to take too much. The recommended amount to not exceed is 40 in a day, and me cutting my pills in half gets me 25. Are the results to do whatever's being done on hormone or our hormones messing with stuff? Do you want to lose weight? Calorie deficit, that's it. Yes, calorie deficit, but the problem is the hormones are jacking up my calorie deficit. Do you think some of the hormones you're taking could be affecting it? Let me be clear. I'm not taking hormones. I'm not taking any hormones. I am taking zinc and magnesium. That's it. Those are vitamins. They're not hormones. I'm trying to flush out whatever's extra in my body. I'm not trying to add things into it. I don't have much of a struggle with hormonal stuff. Well, that's good. I stopped taking the mag and then weigh yourself once a month at the time. I hadn't had a period for like 6 months. A girl at work shook my hand to congratulate me. I got my period the next day. Gosh. Oh my gosh. I sometimes have spotting the week before it arrives. Rarely, but it does happen. When mine arrives, it's not, did I get it? I know it. Yeah. And typically, so for me, the problem is I usually spot 2 days before, then I get a day of rest, and then it shows up. But last month was so light and quick. It was quick and dirty, and not even dirty. It was light. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'll keep y'all posted. I don't know what's happening. Maybe you should see a doctor or a naturopath or something. Yeah, I'm going to implement this protocol and see what happens, because I'm actually feeling better. If I am PMSing right now, I don't know it. Like, let's just throw that out there. If I'm supposed to be in PMS right now, nothing. I have no food cravings. I slept great last night. So maybe we're on the up and up, or maybe I'm at the beginning of a cycle. I don't know. Can you link the book? I did link the book. They're both linked down below in the description box where the links normally are. Are you still taking the supplements? I stopped taking zinc. I stopped today. I'm trying to decide what the right balance is. Magnesium, I have no problem with because I've been taking it for a while, and I just stopped because I upgraded my probiotic, and I was like, well, to get rid of magnesium by a doctor for low vitamin D, and I got kidney stones. Interesting. There were 8 women in the study, and we all got kidney stones. Wow, that is fascinating. What is a high dose of vitamin D? I'm just curious because, and this is not to be prescriptive. I am not a doctor. For those of you watching the replay, I am not a doctor. I have no medical degree. Don't take my advice as medical advice. But I heard through a couple of studies, and my father-in-law actually confirmed it and showed it to us, that high vitamin D deficiency can have an impact on, or has shown to have an impact on, either catching COVID or being affected by COVID. So now that I think it's the zinc that was making me feel no bueno, I forgot about that. I quit taking that too. Try the magnesium, because magnesium is good for a lot of things. I love magnesium. Like I said, I only took it because of I didn't want to keep buying a billion supplements if I didn't need them. But if magnesium is the ticket, then great. Zinc can make you nauseous if you don't take it with food. So I always make sure I take that with food too. So there's a lot of, oh yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so for the vitamin D, because I just got a new vitamin D supplement because I've been taking that too, for energy and everything, and my numbers have been really good. I've been taking 10,000 IU, I think, and my blood numbers were in the normal range with the supplementation. But then again, I backed off of the vitamin D because just a billion supplements. And then all of this research about COVID and vitamin D and making sure you have a decent level of vitamin D can severely help you when you're exposed to it or anything like that. So I've started taking vitamin D again. I just got a vitamin D, vitamin K combo from Now Foods. That's 5,000 IUs a day, which is the recommended dosage, but from the researcher that did this research on vitamin D and COVID-19. So much interesting things out there. So the supplements that I'm taking are not, like, I'm not doing anything extreme. It's all very basic. The zinc was the only factor to mess with, like, that's new. Magnesium I knew I can take. Vitamin D I know I can take. But zinc was the only outlier. And once I saw that, like, it can give you the hot flashes, I was like, really? But it's interesting because I'm like, does this mean that I should take zinc in the winter in Minnesota just to help keep my body temperature up and to not be a miserable, cold little person? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Anyway, that's all of this to say, this is my new long-term experiment. I'm still going through with the cut because I told y'all I'd go through with the cut. Don't know what the results are going to be, but I'm still going to do it. But I'm going to try and implement these changes, and I'm going to try to cut back on caffeine, meaning I'm going to have a cup of coffee in the morning, and that's going to be it. And I'm going to try to back down on the sugar. I'm not perfect. That's going to take a longer process and stronger discipline. But whatever amount your body doesn't use, you just pee out. So I've never worried about taking too much. Yeah, no, and I've heard that too. So it's yeah. So again, like, if I'm taking 2,000 IUs of vitamin D too much and I pee it out, great, fine. Dear body, use whatever it is you need, and get rid of the rest, right? I just like to make sure, especially for my body, because I don't necessarily know in terms of CMT what I might be deficient in, what we might need a little bit more of. Like, that's why I'm so adamant about protein and things like that. So I like to make sure that at least I'm getting as much as I can. And I'm not using supplements as an excuse to have a crappy diet. Like, you got to get your nutrition from food, but the supplements kind of help boost things when necessary. And so I'm here for that. The zinc has me perplexed though. But so I'm thinking I'm going to take it tomorrow and see what happens. But it's been an interesting time. Past month was weird. I had PMS hunger over 2 weeks earlier than usual. Then PMS week was smooth sailing. Then it wasn't PMS hunger. It was just hunger. And that's one of the things that it also talks about. It talks about, like, how you burn fewer calories at the beginning of your cycle. You burn more calories during PMS, which is why our appetites spike, because we're burning more calories during that period of time. And so in the diet, she even says, make sure you're eating things like slow burn carbs, like apples. Apples are sweet and they're slow burning carbs. Sweet potatoes, things like that, to help tell your body, hey, you have had the thing that's going to cause a or that's going to evade the sugar craving, right? And you're nourishing your body in the right way, but it allows you to avoid the actual sugar craving, because you're still giving your body, the reason you crave sugar is because you're craving carbohydrates, you're craving energy. Feed it good sweet carbohydrates, healthier sweet carbohydrates. I'm trying very hard to pick my wording properly, because cake is good. Cake is good, don't get me wrong. But that will help you with the cravings and the hunger because you're giving your body the fuel it requires at that period of time, you know? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I have a nose itch. Ah. I thought your body stored fat-soluble supplements. I don't really know A, D, E, and K. I don't know. I should know. I have the book downstairs that will tell me. But D, and I know D and K are best taken together because they work off of each other, which is why I have a vitamin D K2 supplement. It's all the same mixed up together. I think she just meant like vitamin C and stuff. I was pregnant then, so she probably assumed I couldn't get too much vitamins. I was prescribed only 5 to 10,000 units for a week or two, only when I was really low. We need a doctor in this chat to get to all of our questions, right? Right? I could look in my nutrition books because I think there's stuff about vitamins in there, but I don't think there's this much in-depth stuff in there. There's a lot of, like, I can picture the little graphs of, like, fat-soluble things, or, like, not graphs, drawings. There's literally drawings of, like, things going in and out of cells in my books. And I believe fat-soluble versus water-soluble is in there somewhere. I just can't remember where. I can look it up. The hunger was PMS. Like, it was terrible. Have you ever tracked CMT symptoms along with this cycle tracking? It could be interesting to see if there's any connection there. Yeah, I could. The thing is, like, all in all, other than fatigue, my CMT symptoms haven't been very bad at all. Like, I can't even tell you. There are a couple, sometimes I am weaker than normal, but I feel like that is due to fatigue, not due to, which is, chronic fatigue is a result of my CMT, but it is also a result of adrenal fatigue and and could be some hormone imbalances too. So chronic fatigue can be the result of all of the things happening to me right now. But other than that, like, I don't have a CMT symptom that's noticeably, I don't have a CMT symptom that noticeably fluctuates, to my knowledge. I have off days every once in a while, and I can keep track of those, but in general, which is great. It's a blessing. It's a huge deal that I don't have many off days, which is awesome, outside of being tired. Sounds gross, but I like mashed steamed sweet potato with coconut, raisins, and peanut butter. So good and weird. I've had it for breakfast today. You know, it doesn't sound that gross. I was with you until the peanut butter. The peanut butter made me question, but knowing I have Wild Friends peanut butter, I just like sweet potatoes with a slab of butter on it. That's good stuff. So I don't even need cinnamon. A good roasted sweet potato and some butter. That's all I need. It's real good. I still get B12 injections once a month. Really big change with B12 and my energy levels. Cake is good. Those Japanese cakes I got at H Mart were a bit of a letdown. Oh yeah, I saw the picture you sent and I went, none of those things are going to taste good. I could tell you by looking at them. Because, well, you liked the red bean paste. I don't. But the bread-like things are not sweet enough to scratch the itch, which is the problem. Can sweet potato fries count? You can cut up sweet potatoes and put them in the air fryer. That you could do. And make kind of sweet potato-esque things. I've also seen people do sweet potato toast, which has been very interesting. But sweet potatoes, obviously, is one of the foods that's for the luteal phase, which I was like, well, this is, like, everything in the book makes sense. It really does. And even I'm looking at the foods, like, she's talking about how, like, during the lighter parts of your cycle, like at the beginning and whatever, you want to eat, like, lighter things and cool, like, have focuses on more raw foods, like salads and things like that. And then you want, like, lightly cooked things, steamed things. And then, like, with your during your menstrual phase, like, soups and stews. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Like, comfort food. It really all makes so much sense. And so my goal in the long term and the short term, I'm going to start to try and make these changes as I can, as with the grocery that's available and what the humans in this house will eat. When I get home, I plan on implementing this more and literally trying to curate because again, it might look scary at first, but if you remember that each phase is roughly a week's worth of groceries, it's not that scary. It's not that scary, you know? I'm in luteal and I passed by the sweet potatoes today. and got 2, they looked so good. That's because that's what your body needs right now, Lindsay. Like, literally, your body told you what you needed. How cool is that? How cool is that? Oh my goodness. What all? I feel like I missed a comment. Breast cancer survivor too. Ashley, since I haven't been a full live chat in so long, that's very sweet. Thank you so much for that. Oh, we were talking about breast cancer survivor. My numbers didn't move. It was during my breast cancer battle. They were studying low vitamin D levels with breast cancer. Oh, wow. I got several breast cancer survivors in here. Oh my gosh. Can I ask y'all a question? My breast cancer friends. If this is too much, if you don't want to divulge this information, that is totally okay with you. But I have a friend who is undergoing a double mastectomy very soon. And I want to get her stuff. I want to put together a little care package for her. If you had a double mastectomy or the surgery or something like that, what would you recommend gets put in the box? What is something that you, during your treatment, you didn't realize you would depend on so much, something you wished you had, something like that? I actually emailed my contact over at Erin Condren because she very publicly shares her breast cancer journey and her maintenance and going for her checks and all that stuff. And I actually emailed her. I'm like, this is totally not Erin Condren related, but I don't know who else to ask. So, and she gave me a couple of suggestions, which was super helpful. If you guys had any insight into that, I would love to hear that too, because I want to get a little something together for her to send to her before her surgery. Hey, Kim, congrats on being a survivor. I'm a 16-year survivor, triple negative breast cancer, very rare and aggressive, but 16 years later, I'm still here. Prognosis was 2.5 years. You go, girl. That's amazing, Susan. Susan, you're a rock star. You are a rock star. The mochi was delicious. I had bubbled milk mochi for dessert tonight, and I have fish ice cream sandwiches in my freezer. It was the cakes that were kind of blah. Can you say quickly what the phases are for each part of your cycle? I'm very interested in this. Yes. So, the day after you stop bleeding is the beginning of your follicular phase. So your follicular phase is the whole first little bit from when your period stops through ovulation. Then you hit your ovulatory phase, ovulation. I can't remember the exact length of time for ovulation, and the thing I would look up to check is, I think it's like 3 to 5 days. Like your fertile window. Like that, right? So you have your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, then you have your luteal phase. The first part of our luteal phase is usually is fine, right? Our hormones are doing wacky things, but we feel okay. And then the second part of the luteal phase, Luteal, luteal, is PMS normally, unless we can all figure out how to get balanced. And then you have your menstrual phase, which is obviously when you're bleeding. Those are the 4 phases of our cycles. This is so fascinating. Like, you guys thought I was fascinated by the power of when stuff. This cycle stuff blows me out of the water. It really does, because it just makes so much sense. And in the book Woman Code, she talks not just about the hormones of estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, but she talks about all the hormones, all of the endocrine system, the thyroid, the pituitary gland, the couple of other glands that you have in your brain, the liver detoxifying things. I think how we eliminate all of the extra hormones and stuff from our body. Like, she talks about all the hormones. And so when we're talking about cycle syncing, it's not just to nourish those 3 hormones that we most commonly think of when we're talking about our cycles. It's not just that, it's the whole body and all of the hormones, cortisol and all that jazz. Like, she gets into it. It's so interesting. My doctor has recently put me on very light antidepressant due to still grieving our little baby and some sad. Put me on one that she said works with your hormones, especially if you're estrogen sensitive. Works with your hormones, especially if you're estrogen sensitive, and I'm worried about it making me gain weight. So first of all, the most important thing is you do what you need to do for your mental health. That is the most important thing. This second thing, if you want to prevent that, it is very important to make sure you're fueling your body properly, especially for like the hormone balance. Because if you're managing your estrogen naturally, it will be likely to cause less of a problem. However, I have not actually been on an antidepressant, so I can't speak from personal experiences. But, you know, managing what you can control to help with what you can't can hopefully help balance things out for you just a little bit. Antidepressants definitely made me gain weight easier and differently than usual. I'm trying to reverse that now and COVID weight. Interesting. What do you mean by differently? If you don't mind my asking, that's interesting. I'm also in my luteal phase and I'm craving chocolate. Have a sweet potato. Have a sweet potato. Or what else did you say? Like brown rice is good as well. Something to feed that carb, but you want like slow burn carb. Or an apple. An apple is the other thing that she kept saying because it's high fiber, which will help keep things moving, but it's also sweet. And, you know, I had double mastectomy. Easy clothes, zip front, loose clothing, especially if she's having breast reconstruction. Soft sleep bralettes, no hook and eye or wired bras. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I crave chocolate in all phases. Girl, me too. Me too. I ate a whole bag of peanut M&Ms today. Like a checkout line bag, but still not good. It's okay. Just this and what. So what else? What else she said? This book is brilliant, and I just really like what she says. And it's like even the stuff that she's saying and the way she says it, I want to like implement into my coaching. But think of this protocol, she calls it, as not a restrictive or elimination, but an additive to your lifestyle. So instead of thinking, I need to stop doing this, think of adding in the foods that are recommended for your cycle. And so, you know, instead of being like, I can't have any more sugar, it's okay that you ate the bag of peanut butter M&Ms, but maybe try adding in a healthier, more nutritious choice the next food choice you make, you know, to kind of help balance something back out. It goes into what to do if you've overdone sugar, overdone alcohol, she talks about all of it. I haven't been on antidepressant, but I've been on other mood-related drugs. Last time I was on medication, I gained 40 pounds in less than 3 months. Holy moly. But I also used giving myself time to adjust to constant changes in meds as an excuse to eat like a jerk. And that's where a lot of the weight probably came from. Yeah. Medication-related weight gain is no fun. Yeah, you're going through that. Well, so last time we checked in with you, you had spiked way up, but you had already lost some of it by last week. How is that going, if you want to share? Are things kind of evening out for you? Because, I mean, we've all seen it. We've all been there with any sort, and like, I know, Rosie, you're on thyroid medication. That's literally one of the hormones we're trying to manage. Either in the natural or in the whatever, but because it can deal with bloat and weight and all that stuff, like crazy. It's crazy stuff. I feel like I've got more belly weight than I ever did before, and thighs. Not that I've had small thighs, but more so, even as this same weight as last time before my big weight loss. Interesting. So you've just gained weight in different spots then. Interesting. I feel like peanut butter M&Ms sound really good. So I have not been a good Diva and the Divine follower the last few months. I've fallen off the wagon and rolled way down the hill. I mean, really bad. I just need help getting back on track. The day after, it went back up. Of course it did, Rosie. Of course it did. I don't think I've even thought another working out for over 12 weeks. So then, Ashley, like, we're here. We're here to help you get back on track. How can we help? And what do you think is one thing you can do tomorrow to take a step towards being back on track? I don't want you to focus on like, I have to make all of the changes all at once, but what's one change or maybe a couple of small tweaks that you can do even just tomorrow to make yourself feel like you're back in control just a little bit? Because just being able to pinpoint those specific things, drinking a little bit of extra water, maybe saying no to the bag of peanut M&Ms and getting something else instead. What is something you can do to help yourself get in that mindset again? Maybe go for a walk. No, you're in Minnesota. Maybe don't go for a walk because you're way farther north than I'm supposed to be. I don't know how much snow you have up there. I was struggling to lose when I started on the meds, and when I stopped trying, the weight piled right on. Yep, which will surprise nobody, right? I need to throw out all the junk food in my house. And I mean, if that's something you need to do, go ahead. Go ahead and do that. We literally, so you know how we had 2 cans of frosting for my mother-in-law and I to put, I bought them for for a dessert that I made a couple weeks ago, handful of weeks ago now. And we still had some of the chocolate frosting left in the fridge, and I've been putting it unnecessarily. It's delicious, don't get me wrong, but I've been abusing the fact that the frosting has been in the house. And so finally, like with half of a tub of the frosting left, I looked at my husband yesterday and was like, or last garbage day, so Sunday, and my father-in-law was like, I'm taking garbage out, get rid of anything in the fridge that needs to be getting rid of. I was like, can I throw this frosting away? And he goes, why don't we just eat it with a spoon? I'm like, that's great and all. And so like we had a couple of spoonfuls and right, and I was like, and he's like, that's really good. I think I'm done. I go, can I throw it away? Are you done? And he goes, yep. And I go, great. So I pitched it into the garbage can because I'm like, it's still good and I still could eat it, but it's also just sitting there unnecessarily. And do I really need to eat it? No, I don't. And so that's one thing we got rid of. My doctor did warn me before putting me on them, but mental health was more important to me. I do deserve some of the blame for sure for the weight loss. Now that mental health is better, it's time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, mental health first, 100%. Make sure that you are in a healthy headspace. And because also a healthy headspace is going to help you on the weight loss journey too, right? Like everyone talks about how, you need to love yourself before, you don't love yourself at this weight, you're not going to love yourself at this weight. All of the mental game of weight loss. And it's true. Once you love your body and are in the happy and in the ready mindset. Are you ready and willing and able to commit to this? Only when you can say yes to those things are you ready to actually go. So mental health is definitely the first thing you got to take care of. I just threw out at least 2 dozen birthday cookies and the last of the birthday cake because I know I can't help myself. Oh, I hope you hid that from the boys. Did they know you were throwing away the birthday cake? By the way, oh my goodness, he was such a cutie pie with his birthday cake. Putting mental health first is the biggest thing in me actually seeing success over the past 1.5 years or so. Yes. Ashley, how about taking a 30-minute walk every day? My 10,000 steps a day really helped me lose weight and made me stronger. Yes. And that's one of the things in the book. They did not know. I love it. I love it, Lindsay. And if they don't know, it won't hurt them. I almost didn't ask my husband about the frosting. Like, I was like, if I threw it away, he wouldn't even notice, but he happened to be in the kitchen. So I'm like, I can't just pitch this in front of him without giving him a reason. Otherwise, yeah, my husband wouldn't have noticed when I did that either. It's been so bad. I've been bringing my little girl to the grocery store and she talks me into buying all the junk. I do much better saying no when she's not there. So here's the thing, my friend. You have the power to say no. You have the power to say no to her. And you should. I know, I have no kids. How dare I say you should say no to your kid? But come at me, parents. Come at me. But you've got the power. You've got the power. I need to make that a button that I can just push and the song comes on. I've got the power. But you can do it. You can do it. And maybe all you have to do that day, maybe your thing that day is saying no to bring in the extra stuff. Maybe that's all you have to do is buy what's on the list. And I do that. I always pride myself when I go to the store with a list and come out with only the things that were on the list. That's an accomplishment. Because I'm the person that'll be like, oh, this is on sale. Oh, this sounds really good. I'm the queen of I'll find a way to eat this. This sounds really good. This is on sale. And then there's 5 things in my cart that I didn't need to buy, and it kind of helps throw the meal plan a little bit out the window too. It's always better if I stick to the list. You threw away cake. I think there's a law against that. I will throw out whole boxes of Debbie's treats if I think I can't stop. That's good. That's good. Absolutely. And I know the food waste community is going to come at me, and I don't care. You got to do what you got to do. Think of Miranda on the episode of Sex and the City with the chocolate cake in the garbage and how she still was compelled to eat it out of the garbage, so she had to cover it with the dish soap so she would stop eating it. If you have to be that person and throw it away. It's okay. It's okay. Working out consistently now and trying to focus on food. I love that, Rosie. Good for you. Kim, it felt like a sin, but I had to. Even my husband said to get rid of it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And it does feel sinful. Like, even me, I'm like, you threw away good cake. Ugh. But you do what you have to do. That's why I'm a big fan of single serve things. Like, I know, like, birthday cake, you need to have the whole birthday cake. But that's like, I'm glad my father-in-law he brought home 4 brookies. There's currently only 3 of us in the house right now. 4 brookies. I ate one whole one. Someone else ate a whole one. I think it's my husband. But I'm like, there are 2 left. But I'm going to tell myself that one of them is for my father-in-law who hasn't had one yet, and one is for my husband. Because that means there's none left for me. And I can't have it because there's none left for me. And that's okay. And that's why I just love, like, if I'm going to go get it, like, go get a piece of Cheesecake Factory cheesecake or a cupcake or whatever it is. Like, go out and get the thing and make it a delicious stinking thing, but then you have one and done. That's what I like to do. Grocery pickup helps with impulse buys. I agree with that. My biggest beef about, or it's not even a beef, I'm very particular about my produce. Like, I want green bananas. And I don't want the Target employee to be giving me bananas that are already starting to get spotty. Or something, you know? Like, I'm that person. So I'd rather go into the store and buy what I need so I can pick it myself. Because I'm just like that. Oh, my jaw's starting to get tired and I'm starting to yawn, y'all. I filmed videos today, so my poor jaw's like, why are you still talking? Sometimes if I want to buy junk food, I'll go look at clothes or something instead to distract me. That's a good, distraction tactics are really, really good. Also, you could think about, you could start doing some either like visualizations of like visualizing your goal, visualizing yourself, how you would feel when you walk out of that checkout line without having purchased the junk food. Like, you could just do that. If you had that thing in your hand and like, how would I feel if I didn't buy this? Focus on that feeling, that sense of pride that you would get knowing you made the healthier choice of not bringing the junk food into the house. That could be enough to get you through to the checkout line, you know? Or focusing on how future you might thank you for not having it in the house or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? I thought of that with Ben's cake. I totally bought pens again when I was in Walmart today. Some of the Bic Gelosity might have jumped into my grocery cart because it was literally on 50% off clearance, which I am really confused by because I thought they were brand new. So when they were on 50% clearance, I was like, why? But I had to try them. So I'm like, for $3, they can go right into the grocery budget. Boop. And I threw them into the cart. And I thought of Miss Mary Lynn, or as the Spice Rack calls her, Rosemary, while I was buying the pens. I live in the smallest town in America. Wait, literally? One Walmart I just got pickup. Oh, wow. I haven't tried it yet, but I want to. I'm glad I had a son. Matchbox cars or Legos were the big treat. Pens? How dare you? Don't you know that liking pens makes you pathetic? You have no life if you love pens. I totally understand the produce. Ooh, there's more comments than I thought there were. I worked as a grocery store shopper for almost 2 years. I don't trust other people to shop for me. Yeah. Picky with produce too. I literally don't go anywhere anymore, and somehow buying junk food has once again become that fun thing. Well, you gotta okay, so you just identified what that solution you're looking for is. Junk food is the fun thing. So what can you replace junk food with to still have the fun thing? What will give you that same trigger that, oh, this is a fun thing. This is a fun thing. Nail powder. Yeah. Because that's what you need to do. You don't have to avoid the fun thing. You just have to find something else to be the fun thing. This rarely happens to me, but I've had the munchies today. I'm out of calories. Do I go over calories and have something else or just live with it? Thoughts. P.S. I love cake. So are you actually hungry? If you're hungry, eat something. It has to be a nutritious choice. If you're actually hungry, go eat an apple. Go eat a piece of cheese. Piece of cheese, y'all, is my favorite snack. Full fat cheese. It's fat. It's protein. It's low to no carb. It's gold. It's awesome. So I think that if you are using being out of calories, like if you're using going over your calories and as an excuse to go eat said piece of cake because you're hungry, no. If you're saying I'm hungry and I'm out of calories and you can go make a healthier choice, boom, there you go. And that's how it's done. If you are like, I'm out of calories or points or bites or whatever, and you are convinced that you have to go over, make it a healthy choice. And if that healthy choice doesn't taste good to you, doesn't sound good to you, you're not hungry. You're not hungry and you're just trying to look for an excuse to eat something fun. That's all. I bought a facial instead of sweets. Perfect! Marie, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Treat yourself. Just don't treat yourself with food. Or at least not all the time. You can do it occasionally, because I do it occasionally too. Like that meal where we went out for Italian food and I literally had 1,000 calories to eat. I ordered whatever I wanted on the menu. I really did. And it wasn't even that bad. But I ordered whatever I wanted on the menu. Because I was like, it's fine. I have the calories to spare. It's a delicious thing. If I go a little bit over, it's fine. No big deal. But it's just a matter of, I'm all for the occasional sweet treat or savory treat, whatever your version of treat is, right? I'm all for it occasionally. What is a problem is when you make it a habit to treat yourself with food. Oh, I had a stressful day. Let me pick up this. Oh, I did good today. Let me pick up this. Oh, I cleaned the house and did 5 other things today. Let me do this. Oh, I'm doing nothing. Let me do this. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, one thing every once in a while, not a big deal. I actually am a big fan of like having one, it's not called a cheat meal or a cheat treat or anything, but like at least once a week, having a meal out or having a special something is fine. But it's when we start to get to doing it not two is fine. Let's, once or twice a week. All right. As long as you track it. But once you get to like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week of some sort of indulgence, then we have a problem. So I am all about not rewarding yourself with food often, grocery list is the best. Trader Joe's is like walking through a minefield. I gotta go in there and avoid all those yummy foods. The dark chocolate peanut butter cups. See, I don't like the dark chocolate ones, but I tried the milk chocolate ones. Those are the best peanut butter cups I've ever had in my life. No joke. The quality of their chocolate is out of this world. And it's so interesting to me. I actually had an experience. I'm tangenting, but I'm still talking about chocolate. I had an experience the other day where I was like, I'm going to have a little treat. And I got up and we have Ghirardelli chocolate squares here. And I'm like, I'm going to have 2, whatever. So I grabbed a little Reese's cup and 2 Ghirardelli caramel chocolate squares. I sat back down. We were watching a Star Wars movie. And I ate my peanut butter cup. It was delicious. I took a bite of the first Ghirardelli square and like, I let it sit for a moment because like milk chocolate and caramel, like melty, delicious, whatever. It did not taste good to me that day. I was like, what in the world? And so you know what I did? I put the other one back. There was no rule that said because I tracked 2, I had to have 2. I put the other one back because it was like, today, this does not taste good to me. And it's interesting how like some days, for me at least, I find that there are days where like, this is exquisite, whatever it is. It's perfect. And there are other days that the same thing is just not as good. Does that ever happen to you? Like, I couldn't believe that the Ghirardelli chocolate square that had tasted so decadent and delicious to me like a week or so prior did not taste good to me. I mostly only go to the grocery store. I did buy some shirts for the first time in a while. Oh, that's fun. I honestly didn't think of it that way. Fantastic info. Ashley, it's harder to eat if your nails are wet. That is also a philosophy I live by. I do my nails and it takes me, I did some swatching and some nail doing the other day. And it was literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours of my time that I wasn't thinking about food because I was focused on this nail doing activity, which was great. I do Whole Foods delivery in NYC. Your shopper will text you while you're shopping. I'm very picky. I really love their delivery through Amazon Prime. We don't have chain grocery stores in NYC. Interesting. For me, a food treat for a stressful day is picking up a grain bowl from Panera or a burrito bowl from Chipotle because it's more about not cooking. That makes a lot of sense. Y'all, sidebar. We had Chipotle for the first time since the pandemic started the other day. They have cauliflower rice now, and I was able to track my bowl, and I ate the whole bowl, and I had little guacamole cups at home, so I was able to slap on my own measured serving of guacamole. I was happy as a clam. I was happy as a clam eating my Chipotle burrito bowl with cauliflower rice. Ugh, it was so good. Having said that, I've been eating a lot of soups and salads. I actually tried your meatloaf this week. Rosie, what did you think? The dip powder dries in about 2 minutes, though. It's true, but that's the process. They're not wet, but it's a process. When you have dessert, even after every meal, it's a problem. Yes, and don't get me wrong, I feel that on a very real level. I am very much I finish lunch and my body goes, you know what you need? Sugar. And I literally will have to talk myself down and be like, don't be stupid. You just ate a delicious and fulfilling and nutritious lunch. You don't need sugar right now. I literally have to have this conversation with myself almost every day after lunch. Maybe because it has a white chocolate coating. Oh, my experience with my illegal confirmed I'm not a fan of milk chocolate. Oh, I love milk chocolate. Milk chocolate is my favorite kind of chocolate. Howdy, Bessie, hi. When your hands are busy, you snack last. She said while eating a snack. It's all good. It's all good. I have 2 free Chipotle meals because when I went, they messed up the order. Free Chipotle is the best kind of Chipotle. It's true. Nails have been a great new hobby for me, and it keeps me busy and makes me feel good. I love it so much. Girl, you have gone off the deep end with the nails, and I am jealous. I need to see your collection. The colors that you regularly swatch. They're just so beautiful. I want them all. I want them all. How are you ever going to try them all? You're going to have to start doing a manicure with like four or 5 different colors. The cauliflower white rice was good. My only complaint was a little bit mushy. So like, you know how rice is firm? This was a little bit mushier. But like my whole Chipotle order is a bunch of mush anyway. So I literally just mixed it all together. Once you throw the avocado on top of it, it's all mush anyway. So it didn't really matter, but it was a little bit like watery and mushy on the bottom because that's the first layer. But if you mix it all up, it's all good. It's all good. Have you tried TJ's new Mexican cauliflower rice? I have not. Is it spicy? That's my primary question, because I like things that are flavorful. I do not like things that are spicy. It was good. We are more meatball people, so this is the first or second time eating meatloaf, and I liked it. Good. I'm glad. It's a good recipe. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. It's good. You sound like my husband. He thinks I've gone way overboard. I mean, you have a lot. And you've managed to find companies I've never even heard of. You're tagging all these people, and I was like, wait, what? I literally haven't purchased from anybody except Revel. That's the only company I've purchased from. And I have one little mini pack from Sparkle & Co. because Molly over at Classically Molly sent it to me. That's the only reason I have a different brand. I found those. I need those colors, and I found so many awesome small women-owned businesses to shop from on Instagram. I love supporting them. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I see your collection. I'm like, how is she going to use them? How often do you change your nails? Because for me, like, in a perfect world, my nails last 2 weeks. They never do because they eventually start to come off, and I pick them off or mess it up somehow, whatever. So mine have been lasting like a week and a half. But, like, if everything went according to plan and my manicures lasted me 2 weeks regularly, that would only be 25 manicures in a year, 26 manicures a year. And How are your natural nails after the dip? Are they still strong and healthy? They are they're a little beat up, but they are not any weaker. And I soak them off in pure acetone too. So once a week. Okay. Um, so they never look pretty when you pull them out of straight acetone, but like they're strong. I don't have any worries about my nails at all, and they're actually like the longest that they've been in a while. I've actually, since I've started dipping, I have had to cut my nails several times. I don't cut my nails because I'm a nail biter. And so I usually just bite my nails down, or I chip them and break them, or I pick at them or whatever. I have actually had to take nail clippers to my nails to cut off some of the growth because they've been too long. And it's been uh, the dip powder adventure has just been amazing. I'm obsessed. I'm utterly obsessed with it all. Hello, welcome. I've got to stop sweets and carbs. Why do I crave these? I'll be honest with you. You crave them because you eat them. And that is the honest to goodness truth. Because what happens is if you eat sweets and white carbs, you spike your blood sugar. And then what happens after a blood sugar spike is you crash. And what happens, you crave the thing that's going to give you another blood sugar spike. And on the cycle goes. And that's what wreaks havoc for a lot of people. It messes up your blood sugar balance, your insulin levels. It gives you cravings that you could otherwise stave off. Because you fuel the cycle. Don't get me wrong, I eat them too, but I'm very intentional about how and when I eat them now. And I always, if you gain no other nutrition information from me, my friends, let it be this. Always start your day with protein. Always. First thing in your mouth should not be a sugary, white, carbohydrate anything. Anything. It needs to be protein and ideally healthy fat or whatever, but I will settle for protein, at least 20 grams, at least. Like, the donut is fine. The bagel is fine. Have protein first. Then you can have your donut or your bagel or whatever. When I was having the pumpkin bagels during pumpkin season, I was drinking a protein shake with my bagel because I wanted the carbs. I wanted the breakfast food, but protein first, always. It will shock you as to how even keeled you will feel if you start your day with enough protein. And in the book, actually, the book that I was, and you weren't around for the book conversation about hormone balancing, what she recommends for breakfast for people that might be a slow estrogen burners, which given the fact that I have self-diagnosed myself with too much estrogen, I'm assuming that I am. She said, what did she say? No more than 30 grams of carbohydrates for breakfast. No more than 30 grams of carbohydrates. And so I went back and I looked at the breakfast that I've been having, which has been the Fairlife Nutrition Shake and the Sandwich Brothers Pita. The nutrition shake is 150 calories, 30 grams of protein, and not very many grams of fat or carbs. Not a lot. Like, I clocked in between the two items, I was at like 19 carbohydrates or something, or 20 something carbohydrates. So that breakfast falls right into that range of ideal number of carbohydrates to start my day according to this hormone balancing book. And it gets me 40 grams of protein, all for 300 calories. It is my favorite breakfast, and it's so simple, and because it's all ready made for you. I start with toast and sugar-free jam. I'll start with turkey, bacon, and egg beaters. Yes, 100% do that. Because if you start with toast and jam, all you're doing is giving your body carbohydrate signals. That's all you're doing. You need to get the protein in there. It will change how you approach the rest of your day, I promise. And with anything, like if you want to take it a step further, make that commitment for most of the stuff you eat. Like, if you're going to have pasta for dinner, have pasta, but throw 4 ounces of chicken on it. Like, protein with every meal will help you so much. So much. Oh no. I lost it again. Every mani I see, I'm like, I need those colors too. I found so many. Oh yeah, I read that already. Meatloaf is good. I want to try the meatloaf and put mushrooms in it for some veggies. Nice. Mine are good. I do an apple cider vinegar soak every 2 weeks, and I take biotin for them. Okay, okay. I considered using one of my meals Thursday, but I think I'm going to stick to my plan and do some meal prep tomorrow. I don't own nail clippers. That's what my teeth are for. Oh no. Oh no. And I actually have, I have to use toenail clippers because my fingers can't squeeze regular nail clippers. So I use toenail clippers for my toes and my fingers because they're the only thing big enough for me to squeeze. I have been having 40 or 50 grams of protein for breakfast. That is so true regarding protein. I never paid attention until about 4 months ago. Game changer. I think that's why I rarely feel hungry between meals. I can tell you that's exactly why you rarely feel hungry between meals. That's absolutely it. And if you want to up the ante a little bit more, throw on some healthy fats. Like, girl, that is the key to the satiety equation. Is you have protein. It's the Fab Four: protein, fat, fiber, greens. And that's how you stay full. That's how you stay balanced. And it is just, it's amazing. It's amazing feeling. Like I said, I've been stunned that the last couple of days, I have just been flowing through my day, meal to meal, looking at the clock going, oh, I should probably eat. And just not nearly as hungry. I haven't been like alarmingly hungry in days. I don't know if it's because of the coffee. I don't know, but I like it. Need a high protein breakfast ideas if I can't eat eggs. Just a protein shake. Yeah. If you need something, something's better than nothing. A protein shake is a great idea. You can do overnight oats and you can mix protein or oatmeal you can mix whey protein into oatmeal. PE Science actually has protein specifically meant and formulated to be mixed into oatmeal. It's very, very good. Or just a protein shake. You could go Fab Four smoothie if you want to go like real serious about it. You can go Fab Four smoothie, but even just like I said, the Fairlife shakes that I've been getting from Sam's Club have been in a pinch. Like that's what today I wasn't ready to eat food, but I'm like, I want my cup of coffee. So I guzzled down half of the protein shake, had some of my coffee, and then went back and ate some food. Just to make sure I had nutrients in my body before the caffeine hit me. I love those protein shakes. I really do. My breakfast of choice is eggs, tomato, feta cheese crumbles on Ezekiel toast, but coffee first. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. I love tomato, feta, basil combination. I love that. Do you like liquid egg whites? I bought some protein powder today to help me get 90 plus grams of protein while staying under 1,300 calories during the cut. How is your cut going, Marie? And that's good. That's important. That's very, very good. And like, that's one of the, like, I'm one of the things that she talks about in the book is less of a focus on animal proteins. And I was like, I don't know if I can give that up because I still have protein goals. And she doesn't talk about a nutrient balance or anything. Like, you should get this many greens, Lindsay, greens, fat, fiber, protein, and greens. So if you wanted to build a Fab Four smoothie, the formula would be like a handful of spinach or kale, or you can also use frozen cauliflower rice as your greens, something like that. Unsweetened almond milk, a scoop of protein powder of choice, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond butter, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of fiber. Chia seeds, flax seeds, acacia fiber, or psyllium husk fiber. That's it. Super simple. You can get more elaborate with it. You can do up to a half a cup of fruit if you want, frozen fruit like blueberries, but you don't have to. Maybe a smoothie with protein powder and nut butter. That's right. Fab Four. I need to get better about making smoothies. Sometimes I'll make mine at night so it's ready when you get up if you're hungry right away but don't have the energy to make it. That's a good idea. Is Diet Coke bad? Diet Coke is not bad. Nothing is bad. There are no bad foods. There are foods that are more nutritious and will nourish your body, and foods that are less nutritious and will cause problems. Did you guys just see that bug fly by the lens? There's a gnat in here. Normally I do not. I only put ice in it if I for some reason don't have frozen vegetables, I freeze my vegetables. So my cauliflower rice is always frozen, and if I put blueberries or strawberries in, those are also frozen, and that helps. If you want a thicker, more frozen consistency, throw some ice in there. Absolutely. Go for it. So no food is bad. No food is bad. There are just more nutritious choices and less nutritious choices. Or the way my sister is teaching Alice, my 4-year-old niece, about nutrition, because she is making sure that she's teaching her about nutrition, because there are weight problems in my family and food problems in my family, and she does not want to give those to her daughter. So she talks about there are always foods and there are sometimes foods. And Coke, Diet Coke, would be a sometimes food. Your healthy proteins, your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, those would be always foods. That makes sense? So nothing is bad. Does it do questionable things to your body? Yes. Did I make my husband stop drinking Diet Coke? Yes, but I had the power to do that. And you know what? He doesn't miss it. He has replaced Diet Coke with sparkling water, and he hasn't had a Diet Coke in like 3 or 4 years. Perfect, thank you. Going to add some healthy fat. I don't ever hit that macro. Fairlife Nutrition Plan shakes are amazing, aren't they? They're so good. I tried the salted caramel one for the first time today. I don't like that nearly as much as I like the vanilla. So vanilla ranks very, very, very high. Chocolate is fine. Salted caramel is the lower end of the 3. I do whey protein and regular oatmeal. Yeah, I've mixed whey protein into oatmeal too. Want to do a protein breakfast tag on Instagram for the rest of the week? I'll send you a pic of my breakfast and you send me one of yours. I need the accountability. Yes, do that, guys. That's awesome. Very well, doable. I've lost 6.4 pounds on top of the 7 I lost pre-cut. That's amazing, Marie. You got masks happening, and you must be feeling good. I am so proud of you. I jumped down again. Come on, I gotta catch up here. I'll take you tomorrow. I don't, just almond milk and a little frozen fruit. Fat, fiber, protein, greens. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Sesame Street did that with Cookie Monster and everyone lost their minds. I don't drink coffee, so I sub Diet Coke. Okay, so then again, because caffeine can, you weren't here for the hormonal thing. Caffeine can jack up a lot of things. So maybe you limit yourself to 1 a day. Or you deal with yourself to like drink all your water first before you have your Diet Coke or something like that. I do a lot of eggs, but don't let that bother you. It's a great way to teach a kid about food. I thought so. I was really pleased with my sister when she was telling me how she's going to do nutrition with Alice. I love that. They make sparkling water with caffeine now. I saw it at Walmart. Oh, I know. They have everything with caffeine. And I love caffeine, but there's a very solid chance that my love for caffeine is part of the thing that's jacking things up for me, including my sleep. So for now, I've been taking my non-caffeinated pre-workout instead of my caffeinated one. And I've been using my BCAAs, and I've only been having coffee in the morning. I'm going to do that for a while and see how the rest of my life falls into place and go from there. It won't. I'm just allergic. Maybe I need to do an oatmeal bowl tomorrow. They're a little high in calories, but they're also really good. Oh, a good oatmeal bowl is bomb. So good. I'm going to tell you a story of how my dad broke me of Diet Coke. He poured a bottle of Diet Coke over my car battery, and it ate all the gunk off the battery. Broke me of my Diet Coke habit back in 1970. Good for Dad. Bold move. Wow. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So the artificial sweeteners and stuff in it, it is not a nutritious food by any sense of the term. It can do more harm than good, but I know everybody needs a vice. Everybody needs a thing. Mine is dessert. I've never been into Diet Cokes, regular Cokes, soda. No. Now I drink sparkling water, but that's in my 30s. I literally learned how to drink sparkling beverages that didn't contain alcohol in my 30s. I've never had a drop of brown fizzy liquid past my lips. And I'm not mad about it. Just the smell of it or whatever, it's always been a turn off to me. I've never liked it. And so it's never been a vice for me. Sugar is my vice. Sweets are my vice. So everybody has one. So in moderation, like let that be your treat, not your water. You know, because I know people that will drink it like water, and that is, it pains me. It pains me. I have a sparkling tea that has a little caffeine in it. Haven't tried it yet. You convinced me to stop having my afternoon caffeine. Lindsay, seriously, I need you to read Woman Code. And if you don't, like, have you tried Scribed through my referral link or anything? That book app? Because if you haven't, I'm pretty sure my referral will still get you 2 months for free. Both of the books are on there. Like, if you can plow through a book, hang on, let me get my referral link. Because I want you to read this, and I want you to tell me your thoughts on it. Hold, please. I am trying to figure out what my login information is for this website. Oh, no, I haven't, but I'll check it out. Excellent. Hang on. I will give you, well, I can text you the link too. But if anybody else wants it, read for free. That's what I want. Copy my link. Here we go, folks. Here we go. I believe that gets you 2 months free. Your friends get 60 days free of reading when they join, and I get 30. Ooh, can I crush him? I got the bug. I got the bug. Okay. I can have 1 can of Diet Pop a day. It's like a treat for me. I've cut way back the past years from 3 to 4 cans to 1, but I do have 1 day probably forever, and that's okay. If that's your thing, that's fine. Just make sure that it's, you know, for you, that's your treat. That's your special thing. That's great. And so as long as you're making a bunch more nutritious choices around it, I have no issue with that whatsoever. My oatmeal bowls are the best. They have 56 grams of protein. I drank 7 Cokes a day until I was planning to get pregnant. Massive caffeine headache. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Wow. Yeah, never been in the Diet Coke. Starbucks is what got me. Starbucks is what got me. Not the Diet Coke. Starbucks. There was a Starbucks in the same area as the theater. And so it was really easy. It was literally like 5 steps over from the theater doors to the Starbucks. And as a theater major, I was always in the theater. So it was, yeah, and rehearsals and homework and practicing and whatever. Like, we always were at Starbucks. We bought a lot of Starbucks when I was in college. And that's what got me hooked on coffee, was having a Starbucks in my college. It's only 1 street, not a big school. We had a Starbucks. All right, my friends, I have gone significantly over my time, but this conversation has been awesome. I hope you didn't mind me rambling on about hormones for half of my time. But knowing that we are all women here, except for Javier, who pops in every once in a while, this was an important conversation to have, and I wanted you guys to be aware of the awesome resource that I found in the last week, and I will keep you guys posted as to how things are going, what changes I've made, how things go in relation to the cut. I'll let y'all know once I figure out where I am in my cycle, because right now I don't actually know, and that is infuriating to me. But it is what it is. So, Spindrift is awesome. Natural flavor is so healthy. Excellent. Yeah, sparkling water is the way to go. I'm a fan, and it gives me a little something different. The Spice Rack didn't show up for that. Oh, I know. The Spice Rack didn't show up. I'm here for it. I did get at least one thumbs down. You all can't see it, but I did get at least one before the stream started. So the Spice Rack was here. They're just not seasoning anything. Anyway, my friends, I will see you all next week. Thank you for hanging out. If you have any questions about anything, y'all know how to get a hold of me on Instagram. And until then, I'll talk to you later.